The Las Vegas Raiders had a 56.5 team rushing grade last year, which was the worst since the 2017 season. So what do they do, Dalton? They drafted this guy right here, Ashton Jeanty, one of the best college running backs in recent memory. Usually here at PFF, we do not advise taking a running back in the top 10 of an NFL draft, but with this guy, it was worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at how dominant he was for 3 years at Boise State, culminating in a Heisman runner-up finish, only behind the great Travis Hunter. Any other year, Jeanty certainly would have won it, carried Boise State to the playoff. And you just look at the statistical dominance, first of all. Look, this is not going to be a complicated segment here. It's just, this is really the Ashton Jeanty is really good video. Look at these numbers. Over the course of his 3-year career at Boise State, 99.9 rushing grade. Perfect. You can't beat perfection,
That's
right?
literally, we grade on a 0 to 100 scale, by the way. So it's 0.1 off from being legitimately
It's
perfect.
perfection. It's the best rushing grade we've ever seen in college. 4,760 rushing yards for 3 years. That's almost 1,000 more than the next closest player, Quinshon Judkins, over the last 3 years. 284 missed tackles forced, plus like 40 more through the air as a receiver over those 3 years. That's so 95 per year. That's ridiculous. To do that once is insane. To do it over the course of 3 years is ridiculous. Second in the nation in yards after contact per carry. And you know what a point I want to make about that? Do you know where he was in yards before contact after carry, which tells you a little bit about the O-line he was dealing with? 206. Wow. Okay, so he didn't have the best blocking in the world up there at Boise. They had their moments where they were good, but you could see, especially against better teams, that it was a struggle. And then he's not just a powerful back after contact. He's an explosive, speedy back too. Led the nation in explosive runs, 124 over the last 3 years. So, look, we talked about it with him. We're not going to go over the receiving part today, but when we talked about this with him last offseason, he said to us, look, I want 3 things in my game. The power of Marshawn Lynch. Here it is right here. The contact balance of Alvin Kamara. Here it is all over the place. And the receiving ability of Christian McCaffrey. We can get to that at another point, but he's a really good receiver. He's a guy who played wide receiver in high school. But let's talk about the rushing part of this, right? It's just absolutely silly. Look, we're going to start this. Who are we playing against? UNLV. Where is this game? Mountain West title game, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas. All right, so we're certainly used to running on this turf. Now, what you're going to get here is very simple. Now, I'm going to draw up these blocking schemes, and in all 3 of these plays that we go over, they're not going to go very well. But we're going to draw them up anyway. So, classic. We're in the shotgun. We're going duo. That means we've got a double team here. We've got a double team here. This tackle's going to get outside here, and the tight end's going to try to seal the end right here. And all Jeanty's going to do is press this A-gap and read the linebackers. Ideally, if these front 4 guys are blocked, he's going to read the linebackers. If he can take it through this A-gap, cool. If he can jump cut back through here, cool. If he has to bounce outside, then cool. But he's just going to read this second level. It's that simple. So I want to point out, too, that he's got the fundamentals of the position down so well. His vision's great. He knows when to cut. He knows how to press the hole. It's not just ability. He knows how to play the position. So now, when we go to this next slide, we've got immediate problems, okay? I see 2 of them already. Here's our double teams. These are going okay. That's not bad. That's getting a little loose, but it's not terrible. My 2 problems are here. This hole is already taken. The inside shoulder, my left tackle's been taken. It's been beat. The B gap is not there. Even more importantly, the tight end. Remember I told you had to seal out this end? This is already a problem because now you're cutting off my initial gap. I can't even press this because there's so much penetration in the backfield. So what we're going to do, he's just going to immediately bounce this. He's going to bounce this to the outside. Now, this is what I want you to see. With Ashton Jeanty, yes, does scheme matter? Does blocking matter? Absolutely. You always want better blockers because if you block things well, house call, no question. That's just what he's done his whole career. Now, the play is broken at this point already. We're barely even into the backfield near the hole. We're going to get out here. Here's a safety. We're going to outrun the linebacker to the outside. We're going to bounce this. Now, this is the part where Ashton Jeanty gets fun. This play is broken. Now we start breaking tackles, right? Instead, we start getting our revenge back here, and we just start seeing the natural ability of him. So what happens even 3 yards in the backfield when a free safety tries to come up and hit him? He's going for a ride. This is all of a sudden just the natural ability that wasn't in the Raiders' backfield last year. You get the stiff arm. You're not tackling me. Not happening. Here's what's coming next. Okay, now I got the next 2 free runners. This is still 4 yards deep in the backfield. The defense still has a chance to make a play and at least make this a short gain. Here's number 1. Here's number 2. Coming, both to tackle him. What do you think's going to happen here, Max? Those 2 guys going to tackle him?
I would imagine they're not going.
Probably not, since I'm bringing it up in the video. They're not. They're getting dragged as well. Here's those 2 we were talking about. Absolutely not. He's got theirs. We saw the power, the stiff arm on the first one. We see the contact balance. You talk about the comp to Alvin Kamara. Here it is.
Surely this guy will get him, though.
Surely, absolutely. Of course he will, right? I mean, he just saw. He goes, you know what? We got a couple of guys here. My fault on this. We got a couple of guys here who are trying to just, they're trying to drag him down. It's still not happening. He's going, okay, I'm the fourth guy. He must be tired now. He's getting the stiff arm too, just like the first guy. He turns a play, okay? I'm not going to show the end of it. He turns a play that was broken. He was contacted 4 yards in the backfield, breaks 4 tackles, gets a 50-yard run out of it, okay? That's just one example. So here's the next one. Our producer, Eli, when I started making this presentation here, he goes, look, Dalton, you can't just show him against Mountain West teams. No one's going to believe that he's that good. You got to show him against the good teams, the big names, right? Well, it doesn't get any bigger than a night game in Oregon where he almost single-handedly beats a team that ended the regular season #1 in the country. So we're going to have some fun here. Here we go. Got a little zone play this time. Out here, we're going to kick this out. We're going to double and seal. Keep in mind, that's a first-round pick, Derek Harmon right there, right? Went, 21st overall to the Steelers, right? First-round pick. We're going to get a seal there. Hopefully my center, somebody, either one can get up to the linebacker. We got a seal, big Jamari Caldwell in there. He was a third-round pick, good player. Seal this backside, and I'm actually going to get a lead back here from my H-back to get out on a linebacker. We'll talk about him eventually. Simple, right? Simple setup. Actually, you see the amount of space here. This is something that, in theory, should work, but these guys are pretty good. First-round pick, third-round pick. We got NFL players all over the place. Okay, here we go. Again, an immediate problem. Again, we talked about, this is big Jamari Caldwell, right? Yep. Big number 90, one of the best run defenders in the country. If Jim Harbaugh drafts you to stop the run, you must be really good at it, right? So Jamari Caldwell beats his block to the inside. You can see Jeanty's still trying to get here. We got a pretty good hole right now. The double team on Harmon's looking okay. This is sealed off pretty good, but we got a backside problem here. Here's the thing, though, with Ashton Jeanty. Most normal people, when big 320-pound Jamari Caldwell, third-round NFL pick, is coming scot-free in the backfield, most of them going down, right, for a tackle for loss. Come on. I mean, come on. This is not a video about Jamari Caldwell. This is about Ashton Jeanty, and what's going to be fun, Caldwell being with the Chargers, he'll get a chance to get his revenge in the next few years. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Okay, now we get to the second layer of this. Again, we're 3-4 yards deep in the backfield. I'm late to the hole. The blocking is there. If I'm Ashton Jeanty, it's here, but we're starting to see some issues. That caused enough of a delay for Derek Harmon. See his helmet here on this side? He's starting to split this double team. He's going to get here, okay? This is Jeffrey Bossa, 5th-round pick for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's going to see more of Ashton Jeanty in the NFL. He's actually going to slip underneath this lead block, and he's going to beat it. So now I've got I already broke a tackle from one NFL draft pick. Now I got a 1st-rounder and a 5th-rounder that I'm going to be playing against for years to come, both coming scot-free. Here we go. It's set up perfectly for Oregon to stuff this for maybe a 2-yard run, right? Here's Bossa. Here's 1st-round pick Derek Harmon with a free shot, right? Now the hole is plugged. I don't have anything, right? Not with Ashton Jeanty. Again, free shot. There it is. Most backs are down right there, stonewalled, most of them. Results of somehow a 1st-round pick and a 5th-round pick. And if you wonder why Jeanty got drafted this high, it's because he's breaking off tackles like this. There he is, out running free, bounces off of him, out here, 30-yard run, stiff-armed another safety down the field. Actually never went to the ground on this play. He was just pretty much escorted out of bounds 30 yards down the field. Again, NFL-caliber players, even better NFL-caliber rusher. One more, got to get your Penn State Nittany Lions in here, because look, the perception is, oh, Jeanty couldn't beat Penn State. No, that's not true. He did everything he possibly, what was it, 15 or 16 tackles he broke? Well, here's another 4 of them right here. Here's what we're going to show. Similar thing. We're going to get now, the last 2 plays I've showed you were kind of really one thing went wrong up front. Here's what we're going to get, a similar zone play. We're going to try to get this guard to seal. We're going to get Jalen Reed walking up here. We're going to get this trying to get kicked out here. Got to seal this, which in theory should be easier. I'm just going to look at the front side here. The back side's pretty simple. Maybe get here, the linebacker, seal this back. Okay, all we're trying to do, little mid-zone, read it here. What I'm going to tell you is that 1, 2, 3 guys on the front side of this, none of them to get blocked properly. Not a single. Boise State goes 0 for 3 here. What's going to happen? 15 here, I forget the name. You remind me on the Penn State names here. He's going to get penetration here and force a cut in. 91 is going to stunt back and then loop through. He's going to get free from the center. Jalen Reed's just going to work his way around the tight end. We got a whole lot of problems in here when there's all this red going in that direction in the backfield, right? None of the three guys on the play side get blocked properly. Here, you can see it right here. Here's 15 forcing the cutback. Here's the tight end looking back towards the back, which is never a good sign, and Reed ready to make a tackle. Here's the center, no chance against 91 there. Now, again, like we had on the last play, two guys. I'm pretty sure 91 here was a UDFA for the Tampa Bay Bucks right now. I'm pretty sure he's in Tampa. Jalen Reed, 6th-round pick of the Texans. Two guys with a free shot. Do they not know this is an Ashton Jeanty video, though? Do they not know? Come on. Those two guys aren't tackling him. Too much balance, too much power. Not happening, right? Okay, we got another guy. Okay, another free shot. Let's get this for a short gain, right?
That's denied Dennis Sutton, by the way.
That's denied Dennis Sutton, who you've projected in next year's NFL draft as a possible first-round pick. Here's a free safety also coming to get around this lineman. He's gonna, because that's kind of the theme here, is Jeanty having to do things by himself. Free shot from Dennis Sutton, free shot from a free safety. Is he getting tackled here?
I would hope so.
You would hope so,
Yeah,
for
as a
sure.
Penn State
As a
fan, I
Penn
hope
State
so.
fan, you would hope so, but you're wrong, because here's what we have. Here's Dennis Sutton going flying because he underestimated the speed, and here's a free safety. I'm going to give you a little suggestion here. If you're trying to tackle a great running back, a first-round type running back, don't do it with your ear hole. It's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. The bowling ball that Ashton Jeanty is. And then what happens here? Okay, so we break another tackle. This is 4 or 5 yards downfield. And you talked before about, okay, I had plays where he bounced outside, he's hitting home runs. Can he handle the physicality, right? Going from mostly Mountain West play to the NFL. This is proof that he can, right? Because you're talking about a play where nobody was blocked on the front side properly. I broke 2 tackles before. I broke 2 more right here, one from an NFL player, another one from a free shot from a free safety. And still, now we have to have another safety come off the screen, plus I believe this guy right here, 2 more guys, and the eventual result is, hey, I needed 6 guys in total to tackle this man, and he still found a way to lean forward on 1st and 10 for a 10-yard run and a first down. 6 people had hands on him. It took numbers 5 and 6 to get him down. This is the type of impact when you talk about running backs and the numbers we showed before in the NFL. People are like, okay, well, how do you scout running backs now? Breaking tackles, explosive runs, yards after contact, and the rushing grade is a piece of all of that. It takes all those things into account. So when you talk about, yeah, Ashton Jeanty played against the Mountain West, but when you're doing these things to Penn State, to Oregon, to UCLA, to Washington when they were the national runner-up, to UCF, to all the Power 5 teams he's done it to, he's proven time and time again that he can do it at a high level. And for this Raider team, they kind of need it more than anybody.
And we're talking about a record-setting running back from Ashton Jeanty, a guy who had the best rushing grade we've ever seen in a single season, best rushing grade ever in a career as well. Most yards after contact ever in a season. The previous record, Dalton, is held by Jonathan Taylor. Most broken tackles in a season. Previous record held by Bijan Robinson. We're talking about superstar running backs right now in the NFL that have previous records that were shattered by Ashton Jeanty. But let's go into the Raiders a little bit more. I mentioned before, the lowest rushing grade by a team in a single season since 2017 when the Lions had a lower rushing grade. Just how bad were the Raiders running the ball last year, and how good is Ashton Jeanty going to be in that offense?
Bad enough that when I was putting this together, I wanted to add some clips of Raiders backs and maybe how they didn't, maximize as much as they should have. And then I saw these numbers, and Max, there's a couple of things that I value of mine. They're called my retinas. And when I saw this rushing grade, I said, you know what, let me just save that. Let me just save that, and we'll move on to we'll take the Pete Carroll positive route. But you look at this is the numbers just from the running backs last year. And look, you mentioned worst rushing grade since 2017. There's the running backs there. Fewest rushing yards by a crew running back since 2020. Their only 100-yard performance of the season last year was Amir Abdullah against the Saints. And we know the Saints are a bottom 3 run defense in the NFL. 42 missed tackles forced in the regular season. I believe Kansas City was the only team with less. 2.5 yards after contact per carry. 3rd worst in the NFL, only 23 explosive runs, tied for 3rd worst in the NFL. So it just, look, I think the theme is here. I more than anybody, I'll defend running backs to the death. When people call them bad and I go, no, that team just can't block. And we see it all the time, every year, NFL and college all the time, just go, no, that team can't block. This Raider team can block. They're good. They've got a pretty good offensive line. Their 5 projected starters heading into this season all had a run blocking grade of at least 68 last year. This is not a bad offensive line. This was a group of running backs that could not take advantage of the holes they were given, the opportunities they were given. And yeah, the Raiders were behind a lot in games too because their defense and whatever, what have you. But It's a product of, okay, the back still has an important role in these. We saw it with Saquon Barkley. We know they block well for him, but he makes those explosives happen. Derrick Henry breaking tackles, Josh Jacobs, Bijan Robinson, like you mentioned, Jonathan Taylor, right? All these great backs, these are the things they do. The Raiders' backs were actually the ones to blame for their lack of production last year.
They clearly missed Josh Jacobs, who signed with the Green Bay Packers, but now they got another superstar running back in Ashton Jeanty. So again, here at PFF, we do not usually advise a running back going in the top 10 of the NFL draft, but when you get a superstar generational type of prospect like an Ashton Jeanty, yeah, it's worth it.